earlier, we're able to create a class, or we're able to create a class that would allow us to fetch the width and height of our screen in which our application might be running. So it could be a device, a tablet, Android device, or a phone. Android allows us to do all sort of things that will help us define layouts that would run on different devices, right? So let's say if we are running our application on a tablet, we could create a file, resource file, that would be fetched or would be shown when the application is running on a tablet. And then if the application is running on a phone or smaller screen size devices, then the system will know to go and fetch those resources as well. So if you go to developerandroid.com and go to the alternative resources, right, providing resources, you'll see that we have these providing alternative resources where we can see that the same application would have different files where it would show. So you would have the same application, an APK, application. It would run differently depending on the size of the device. Okay, 2 different devices, each using different layout resources. For us to be able to do that, we would need to, of course, have a way in which we can actually create those folders or those resources and put them in different folders. But with that too, you can see that they have all sort of things that we can do, right? We can create folders that will hold all the string assets, right, for French, for English from US, and many other languages. This is called localization, which means we can create files, we can create string assets that would be run when we are running on a device that has English as its primary settings. And if the same application is running on a device in France, where the default language settings of the device is French, then at runtime, the application would know to fetch the French, in this case, resources. Okay, so all sort of things you can do. But now what we're interested in here is creating resources, layouts for different device sizes. So we see here we have Sw600dp, that's smallest width. So if we wanted to make sure that anything that has width of 320, okay, we would create all of the resource files, all of the layouts, and put inside of the Sw600dp. And for anything greater than 600dp, we'd put inside of Sw600dp, and so forth. Okay, that's how we would do it. And of course, you can read this on your own time so you can see how all of this works. So this is what we are going to be doing in a second here. All right, let's go ahead and see this in action. So I'm going to go back to our project here. I'm going to go to Res, Layout. So in the side of our layout, we have Activity Main here, which is this frame layout. So what are we going to do here? I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder or new layout folder here. I'm going to right click, I'm going to say New. I want to create a new directory here. So look like this. And I'm going to call this, it has to be Layout Sw600dp as such. It has to be like this because remember this is read at runtime. Okay, so you'll notice right away when you add that new resource folder, it's not going to show here. Now the reason why is because we are in our view here is just showing Android, which means it shows all the folders that kind of came with the Android project. Okay, so in order for us to see that, if you click here, instead of project, instead of Android, we're going to go ahead and say here, let's go ahead and say packages. The moment you say that, notice now we're able to see our package here. We're able to see everything better. Now we have our layout here. Okay, so we still have our layouts. We have now our layout Sw600, which means anything that is at least 600 dp width and height on each, either width or height, then at runtime, the application, the Android system will go and fetch the items or the resource files inside of this folder here. Let's go ahead and copy this main here and put inside of our layout. There we go. Okay, I'm going to change a few things here. Instead of making from layout, let's say put it as a relative layout as such. And inside here, we're going to put a text view. Okay, give an ID. Say my text. And I'm going to, oh, this this has to be ID, not Android. There we go. And let's give a text that says large screen. Okay, make it center. True, like that. Center vertical, horizontal to be also true. There we go. And let's make it bigger. So let's make this size. I'm going to say size, text size. Appearance, say text appearance. Nope, we have to go ahead and say exclamation mark, Android attribute, text appearance large. Let's keep that actually over there. Okay, it's going to be over there. Very nice. So the next thing what I'm going to do here, to see this working, we actually have to have two emulators. Right now we have our phone emulator, which is working great. This one here, but I'm going to create another one, which is going to be a tablet. For us to be able to do that, let's go to at the top here, we have our AVD manager. Click on that. And let's create a new one. And I think we don't have it here. I'm going to create a new virtual, and I want to go click on tablet. Let's get this Nexus 7. There we go. Say next. That is all good. Say next. Say tablet, so we know. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and change a few things. That's all good. Everything is fine. I'm going to say finish. There we go. So now we have our tablet. Where is it? There it is. I'm going to go ahead and click on that and let's run it. So it's going to launch it. Check it. And there we go. Now we have both of them running. Well, at least the other one is still running. Give it a few seconds for it to wake up. And there we go. So both of them are running now. We have a phone and a tablet. Let's go ahead and run this application right now. You notice that we have our two layouts, Sw600, which means anything that has at least 600 either width or height, it will call this activity main here, as opposed to the one inside of our layout, which is the default one for phones. Let's go ahead and run. Now we have both of them. Let's go ahead and just select say command, select both of them and say OK. And let's open both of them. So it should run and install in both of them. You can see differences here real quick. Right, so right away, let's go ahead and put a text view here. It's going to be wrap content. Let's give an ID because it's a good habit to be into. Okay, I'm going to say my text. That's fine. Give it a text real quick here. I'm going to say large screen. Okay, I'm going to give a size, text size here. Let's say 48 SP. Notice for text we use SP, not DP. Okay. That's good. So make sure that we are inside of our Sw600dp. So what's going to happen now if we run this? Let's go ahead and give it a run. Now let's select both of them. Okay, run. Let's open them up. And our phone. So installing, there we go. And look at that. Right away, this is what happens. So in our phone, this looks good. And here also looks good, right? But notice now we have this large screen. So this at runtime, all of that was done without us having to intervene whatsoever. All we had to do is create the layout Sw600dp and put the activity main XML. We made a few changes so that I can show you that this is indeed working and running perfectly. So you can see now, of course, we can't scroll that much because it's a bigger screen because everything fits in properly. Okay? All right, so in this video, we're able to dynamically at runtime have our app choose which layout to display depending on whether we're running on a phone or on a larger device, in this case, a tablet. All right, perfect. So we will continue working on this concept in the next video. See you next.